Hey, and welcome to map 4 of Goldeneye 007. This is Surface, and being completely honest, Surface is quite a unique level in the Goldeneye lineup. It's by far one of the biggest, and it has one of the most unique atmospheres because we're basically in Siberia here. And as you can see, we are surrounded by forests and snow, and this is very different to what we were seeing previously. Now, as you can see here, as we head out into the main level, we are basically seeing a huge, vast open space. And if you were playing this on Nintendo 64, the original hardware, then you would definitely be having some trouble with this one because the frame rate on this level on that console tanks particularly nastily. But one of the advantages of having such an open space is that we can actually take out enemies from a great distance. Although that does work both ways because there are going to be quite a few enemies on this level who will be shooting us from a distance. So you can see this level has these huts lying around. Now these huts are going to be very important because some of them contain key objectives and some of them are locked, as we'll see here. Now we need to find the key to get into that hut, but the way that the game kind of conveys this to you is quite interesting because it basically expects you to go hunting down these huts and to try and get into them. So there's no indication as you're heading into the level here where you're actually meant to be going, and so you're kind of left with this open sandbox here where you have to kind of go looking around, poking your head in all of these huts, and as you can see here, some of them are just empty and some of them are filled with boxes and have nothing really valuable in them. So this level can be frustrating, and as you're making your way around here, it can be quite easy to sort of feel like you're wandering past the same places you've been. Luckily this is the place that we need to come to. We've just shot that general there and he's just dropped a ginormous key on the floor. Like, that's a massive key. There's also a grenade launcher here which we're going to grab. So my advice would be to take this level very slowly if this is your first time coming here. There are some landmarks which you can use to try and identify where you're meant to be going. I'm just using the grenade launcher here to blow up the boxes inside because I'm completely mature. But as you can see, there are enemies who will sort of come over the snowdrifts and will sort of target us, so we need to be very aware of that as we're making our way through the level here, especially on 00 Agent difficulty. But you'll also notice that there are some enemies who are on patrols, like through these pathways here, and so you've kind of got a mixture of different things going on here. Let's take you out. Oh yeah, we actually need to go to that hut over there. You'll also see other little structures like this. So they aren't really essential, but they're just there in case you want to go on top of them and use the sniper rifle. Personally, I prefer not to use that. I feel that you can basically achieve the same thing by standing on top of the snowdrifts and being a bit careful. But one thing I don't like about this level is the objectives. Now, as you can see, we've just got another key. So what that means is we've had to go hunting for a key to open that hut, to get another key, to go into another hut to open a safe. And I feel that that's not very inventive. There's the Siberia satellite. We will be sort of coming back here a bit later in the game, so don't worry, that's not the last time you'll be seeing that. But on 00 Agent difficulty, you are kind of expected to go looking around, and some of the objectives like make you come all the way out here. I do like how you can see like objects from later in the game, so that there's a hat from a general and there's a book. So there's objective C complete. One thing you do have to be careful of is enemies sort of chasing you through the level on this one, because they are not afraid to do that. Again, this is just an empty hut. There's nothing really here that, you know, is too exciting. Now, if we head all the way around here, you'll see that there's actually two huts sort of in the remote region here. and we have just triggered an alarm. So you've got to be careful for the cameras. We don't actually have to deal with them as a compulsory thing here, but if we come inside here, you can see there's a car and a motorbike. What's funny is they blow up if you shoot them, so be careful for that. But as we kind of leave this hut, it's kind of important to take note that because the alarm's been triggered, we are going to be seeing more enemies running in our general direction. Now, I've never been able to quite work out what was supposed to be in this hut, but as you can see, it's kind of pointless to us, so we may as well just kind of keep running here. I do appreciate the fact that they tried something a bit different with this one, because up to now the levels have been either interior levels or very narrow levels, and this level just kind of blows the scale up completely. Let's see if I can kill these guys with the grenade launcher. I think I did more damage to myself there than to them. You can shoot the dish if you really want to. But yeah, the main objective now is to power down the dish. Now you got to be careful, because when you head inside the satellite here, there's actually scope for you to fail the mission if you're not paying close attention to the objectives. So basically what you've got to do here, you've got to power down the computer in the computer room here. Do not blow it up. It is tempting to, and every sense in your body will tell you to. Don't. You'll fail the mission on the spot. Also, when you come back here the second time, do blow it up, because if you power it up in the second time, you fail the mission. So don't get those mixed up. You can also go on top of the 7-eyed dish if you really want to, although there's really nothing of value up there other than the view. We should be going to the left here to finish the level, but I actually just want to show you this area quickly. So this area is completely useless to us in this visit. However, if you try and enter the bunker, you can see it's alarmed, and what this does, this actually triggers the special forces into the level. So if you see an enemy with a black cap on, they have increased body armor, they have increased accuracy, and they do a lot more damage. And trust me when I say you really don't want to be playing with these guys too much, because they are pretty nasty. Even for skilled players, like, they can be a bit of a pain. But yeah, as you can see, this is quite an easy level to get lost on if you're not paying attention. There's a lot of different directions that you can head in, and if you end up sort of stumbling the wrong way, not knowing where you're going, it can be a bit of a drag to try and find your way back. So this level kind of has a reputation for being a bit mean in terms of direction. In order to finish this level, we actually need to shoot these padlocks, which is what we're going to do right now. If I have enough ammo for this. I'm going to use the sniper rifle here. So yeah, if we head down here, this actually takes us into the opening of the next level. So you can see Bond there jumping in. No care for his knees or long-term knee health, but you know, he won't care about that in old age, because he's probably not getting there, let's be honest. But yeah, that is Surface. Surface is a very interesting level to discuss. It's by far the biggest in terms of scale, in terms of like the actual open area of the level. The footprint of that large snow area is large, and it can be intimidating to new players. Now we're going to be going through this level on Secret Agents, which means that we're going to have to move pretty quickly. I kind of like this level, but at the same time I feel like it's got a few flaws to it, and as someone who did actually play this on original hardware many times, I can tell you that playing this on an N64, not being able to really see enemies running over the horizon who are probably shooting at you, was not very nice. So being able to see it on the Xbox here is pretty nice, I'm not gonna lie. But as we're kind of running around here, you basically just have to strafe run over the snow. If you strafe run, you will be fine, and to enable strafe running you've got to turn it on in the controls, because by default it's actually turned off. But once you kind of know where you're going, this level is not that difficult, and as you can see, the enemies are not super accurate on Secret Agent, so we do kind of have the advantage of just being able to leg it. But I do like the atmosphere of this level. I love the music and I love the sort of very cold aesthetic. I think that it's very interesting and it's a nice sort of change to what we saw in the previous levels, which were kind of rocky and more industrial Russian. The thing with a lot of these cheats as well is that it's not really difficult. It's just a case of you've got to learn the level. If you learn the level, if you kind of figure out the quickest way to get something done, these levels will not take long to complete, and these cheats are even easier to get. But again, it really just comes down to how well you adapt to the gameplay. So for example, we're playing on Secret Agent here, so you can sort of take advantage of the fact the enemies aren't as accurate and they don't do nearly as much damage. Like, we don't have to stop to fight these enemies. Now, if this was a super linear level, which you'll see when we get to Silo in a bit, you kind of have to take out all the enemies as you're moving through the level. Otherwise, you're not going to be able to finish the level. The worst part of this level is just doing this. You can actually see the start of the next level down there, which is on that little bridge above the water. But yeah, not a difficult level at all, this one. It's really just a case of staying on your toes, knowing where you're going and learning the level. So let me know what you thought of Surface 1. Do you think it's a great level? Do you think it's a bad level? Or do you think it's overhated? Let me know in the comments, and thank you very much for watching.